Greeting to SEMS. Good evening to everyone present here. I, Sonal, would like to start this knowledge session on arguments to awareness through debate. From arguments to awareness, the power of debate. Debate is more than just a clash of opposing views. It is a powerful tool for critical thinking, awareness, and change. By engaging in structured argumentation, individuals move beyond opinions to fact based reasoning, open minded discussions, and informed decision making. Debate fosters active listening, empathy, and the ability to challenge assumptions, transforming mere arguments into deeper awareness and understanding. It not only sharpens communication skills but also cultivates a mindset that values diverse perspective, ultimately shaping more informed and responsible individuals in society. About SEMS. SEMS Welfare Foundation is a registered non-profit organization and is dedicated to social impact across various sectors. We focus on education, particularly skill development and entrepreneurship. Through our initiative DG Saksham, we have created training programs in IT, finance, retail, and entrepreneurship, impacting over 6,000 individuals. We are currently upskilling inmates in Haryana jails and collaborating with universities and colleges. We have also partnered with banks to place over 1,500 candidates in job. In such a short time, SEMS has established itself as a force for positive change, equipping individuals with skills for employment and promoting women's leadership in various industries. This session is collaboratively organized by DG Samaksh. DG Samaksh is a company that empowers businesses through data and technology. We offer a wide range of services including IT, software, data science, research, consultancy, data analytics, and marketing. Now, about the speaker, introducing our esteemed speaker Parvathi Arul Joshi, a passionate orator with a strong academic background in pure chemistry and education. With extensive experience in public speaking and debate training, they have represented Kerala at prestigious forums like the India China Youth Dialogue and Indian Student Parliament and National Youth Conclave. A finalist in the Speak for India debate competition, Parvati is dedicated to empowering others through the art of communication. Please join me in welcoming Parvati Arul Joshi. Ma'am, you can start.
Thank you so much. That was such a lovely introduction. And I take this opportunity to thank the hall volunteers and the esteemed dignitaries that is present for this webinar. And it is really appreciative of the works that is SEMS doing and really appreciating every efforts that is together done by each and every one of you. And now we can just move on to our session. I'll share my screen. So as you can see, our webinar has given like the topic from arguments to awareness through debate. So as such, is there any other disturbance ongoing there? Is it fine?
Yes, ma'am, it's fine.
Okay. So once we enter into the session, as you can see, like how can we just move from arguments to awareness? Now, I have given it as a key. It is through debating or through debate. Now, I know everyone has some or the other knowledge about debate or how it is conducted or what are the pros and cons of debate. I know everyone is very much knowledgeable on that. But for anyone who has like a anything kind of a confusion, debate is just nothing. It is a structured discussion where two or more participants present arguments based on a very specific topic. Now, we are so much familiar with debates that occur in our prime time news, and to be frank, that has nothing to do with the actual debate. Now many are get very much confused about, they feel that debate should always be heated up. They feel that it is an opportunity for two people to just fight in front of a very large audience, but actually debate is basically a tool to understand the other person. I am actually doing orientations and workshops on debate, and it has been almost kind of 7 to 8 years into this field of debating. And the more I'm into debate, I've understood that it has helped me to identify the other person, the person who is there or standing as an opponent to me. It is just as term, it is just an opponent, but basically it has given me an opportunity to maybe to know a very deeper knowledge about the person who with whom I have always debated. So I thought that rather than considering debate as a competition or as just a structured conversation, it is actually a tool that can be used in our daily life. So I hope that at the end of our workshop, every one of you, or at least few people, will be able to apply debate as a tool to identify a lot of things that they have confusion right now. So that is actually my key on this. I assure you that you will have something to take away from this debate, from this workshop. That is basically moving through the skill we're going to discuss as debate. Now, what is actually the debate in life? Now, at this point, I want every one of you to think in your mind, what is actually the debate that you're facing in your life, maybe at the moment, or maybe 2 weeks before, or maybe in the future? We all have that kind of a debate. Now, have you ever thought of a fact that every decisions that we have taken in our life till date, it has happened through a conflict. There was always two opinions in our mind, right? Just imagine we woke up in the morning, we just got freshed up, and finally, like the moment we get up, we have lots of questions in our mind. What to cook for our breakfast? Like if we are the one who's working in the kitchen, there is always a question like, what should I like? Should I make something very much healthy, or should I just opt something related to my culture? There is a question in that. And after that, if we are just destined to go for work, another debate arises in our mind. Like, should I like give it my best today at work, or you can have like, oh, I just faced some very bad incident yesterday at my work, so how am I going to face that person? Or it can be anything, that person or particular incident or anything. We constantly debate in our life. It can occur in our head, maybe, or it can be personal, it can be social, but debate is always there in our life, whether we understand it or not. Or it can be about maybe a higher concern, like, should I follow my passion or should I follow my profession? If I follow my passion, I won't be economically stable. If I follow my profession, I won't be happy inside, but I need money for the family to run. So debate is there constantly in your life. Now, why this topic? Now, you already know that since debate is so much related with our life, this topic is very much important. But more than that, we can consider debates more than just confrontations. It can be put in a place where it gets an opportunity to express the potential, used as a powerful tool for self awareness and learning. Not just understanding the situation, not just understanding the other person, but also a key to understand ourselves. Yes, I know it sounds pretty philosophical, pretty ideal. How can we just apply in a daily life? Just don't worry. I assure you that at the end of this webinar, you will have at least one technique to fight whatever concern is there, that is in your mind, that is helping like you to, and that is not helping you to move forward or address the issue that you're facing right now. Now, as you can see, our topic is actually like from arguments to awareness. Now, I have like given it that arguments is placed as in the bottom line and awareness at the top of it. It is actually like a process we experience once we climb a hill. So climbing a hill seems pretty difficult as the steep becomes higher and higher. And basically, moving from arguments to awareness in a much more philosophical way, it is actually moving from noise to clarity. Noise is very much easy to make. Noise is very much sudden. Noise is not usually so much identified or clear or factual based. Noise is just our impulses. We can make noise every now and then. But awareness is actually giving clarity to your opinions, clarity to what you're thinking. Maybe our clarity might not have a voice. A clarity sometimes can be a very silent gesture, but that actually emphasizes our our ability to expand to a wider potential of awareness. So we are actually going to climb a hill today. And I welcome every one of you to experience that journey. Now, moving forward. Okay. Now, I just explained in a very short form that what actually is debate. Now, whatever I told you like till now, just keep it aside, just keep it in your head because we need that throughout the webinar. Now, I'm just giving you an example like how a structured debate occurs in an actual platform, like as in a debate competition. I know everyone is aware about it, but if anyone is having any confusion regarding like what are like the two sides that occurs in a debate, this is a simple example. Suppose we are taking in topics such as social media is harmful to society. Imagine this is our topic, and I am like one of the person who is talking for the motion. Maybe I am always telling you that yes, social media is such harmful, it has harmful practices that affect humanity. And maybe you, that everyone who's hearing me right now, just take the stand that social media is not harmful to the society. Just take that in your mind. We will just understand like the basic structure. So imagine like we have given it like the different perspectives. I hope you can see the heading like perspectives is there, for the motion is there, against the motion is there. So this is like the very basic structure of a structured debate, because once we starts to connect debate with our life, if we don't have clarity on how a structured debate actually works, then it might be a little bit confusing. So you can see different perspectives given here, like mental health is there, privacy is there. So if I say that social media on the mental health perspective, social media causes stress to people. Social media makes people's self-esteem very much low, comparing them to other people, seeing the very luxurious lifestyle of people around us. That can actually be for the motion. That is, I'm standing along with the topic that yes, social media is harmful to the society. Now, you all have I've asked you to stand like against the motion. So you might raise opinions like, no, it not just causes stress to people, but it helps people to find support groups. Just imagine like this example, like we are conducting a webinar. I'm able to share whatever little I know, and you're able to interact with me. So this can only occur through social media. So it is actually a very good. So this is how a very structured debate goes. So now you know what is actually a debate is and how the structured format works. Now is actually the exciting part of our session. We are moving forward. So you can see a quote here. This is actually what I've been explaining till now. We all debate, whether we realize it or not. There's always an argument running in our head about what to do, what to believe, and who we want to be. So this was actually said by Bosio. Now, not maybe some might be aware about Bosio. Bosio is actually an internationally recognized debater, and his debates, if time permits, I might be showing a debate of Bosio. I don't think time will be there, but if possible, you can watch it through YouTube. So he is one of the prominent, like in the current trend, he is one of the prominent one in the debating world. Just passing a very current affair that is happening around. So we will just move forward. Okay. Yeah. So now let's climb up from arguments to awareness. So as we climb up, I want every one of you to think in your mind or write it down if you have a paper. If you don't have the luxury of a paper and a pen, then imagine in your mind that what is the current biggest debate that is happening in your mind right now. Just take a moment and think. What is the biggest debate that is currently running in your mind? It can be professional based, it can be personal issues, it can be relationship based, it can be anything. It can be about like self improvement, your if you something related to health. Just think about it. Take a moment and think. And if there is pen and paper, just write it down. And once we start the session, I hope you get some or the other tool or idea to just have a hold of it. I'm not convincing you that you will reach at a solution at the end of this webinar. No, I don't think that it is that easy. But I assure you, you will get a grip or you will get an idea on how to manage it, how to work through it. So we are moving on to our awareness. That is actually a climb, as I said before. Okay. And the first thing we need to understand is recognizing the pattern. So, when I say you need to recognize the pattern, is that whenever we get engaged in an argument, it is not always the first time that it happened. It is said that arguments have a repetitive nature. Now, moving on, like you have to imagine either yourself in a situation. It can be an imaginary situation, it can be a situation you have already encountered, or you can think about a person you feel that he is like always debating with me, or she is always into arguments. I don't know what is in her head. See, we are very much capable of finding fault in the other person. Uh, so either you can imagine a person like that in your life or in your profession or anyone, or you can imagine yourself. Just you need to understand that arguments have a repetitive nature. Now, at that point, when you imagine it as, you have to think whether you are arguing for the sake of arguing or for understanding. See, I have seen reels and a lot of posts and stories telling that a heated argument can release a lot of stress. If I have a heated argument with my partner or with my parents, I get a lot of relief. But do you think this technique has a quality, or can it sustain for a longer period of time? Or do you think it is such a healthy practice to continue, whether it is your personal or professional life? So at that time, you have to recognize whether the argument or the debating pattern that we have in our life is repetitive in nature. Now, I have been explaining about the repetitive pattern, but how can we just, if we have identified it, how can we just solve this repetitive pattern? Well, the first thing would be journaling your argument. Yes, it sounds funny. Now imagine a situation you are in between an argument with one of your friends, and you have been like giving a lot of arguments. Now imagine a situation you just took a paper and pen, and you are like you started to like noted down your arguments, like the very at the very place you are having that heated argument. Yeah, people might see you as like someone out of the back, but it doesn't mean that you have to like journal at the very moment itself. When I say you have to journal your argument, you have to identify your trigger points. What made you like trigger to give that opinion, or what was it, that key factor that the other person made that helped or that made you trigger your argument? You have to like journal it, or you have to like think about it. What was it? Now, is that triggering always occurs to me, or does it have a repetitive pattern? Now, after you identify that, with the very simple technique is that pause before engaging. Even before you give your argument, even before you like start that heated talk, like emphasizing your domination, just pause for a moment. Just pause and make an engagement with them. Now, pausing is actually very much important, even in like a very professional structured debate. It helps the other person to identify that, yes, we are listening. Okay, the person who's standing in front of me has got that listening capacity. Okay, so he or she has got some kind of interest in the thing that I'm talking about. So it gives kind of a positive impression in the other person. Now, the identify emotional triggers, as I said before, actually helps you to identify the why. Like, why did it trigger to me? Now, it can be because of our earlier bad experience, maybe throughout our life, an experience that has caused us. So, if the other person just stated anything that is connected with our experience of our bad experience of our life, that can actually trigger. It can be related to a cultural background or a need for validation. That is so much important in today's world. We always need validation from other people, and if we don't get that validation, we actually get triggered. Like, it's very momentary. We know it's very momentary, but the impact can last for a longer period of time. So this is one of the pattern that we have to identify. Moving on, the second thing we have to do, like, this is actually the technique that how to take control of your argument, and at least and at the last reach to the stage of awareness, that is shifting from reacting to reflecting. Now, as I said before, it is very easy to react. We are made in such a way that our system works like that. We react to a lot of things. We react with our environment, our climate, and also with the human emotions. We can easily react, but reflecting take a lot of, maybe not a lot of, but a bit of effort. Like, how can we just reflect onto the other person? Now, as this is one of the thing that we can do, but how to achieve this reflection? It is basically this using a very 3 second rule. Now, 3 second rule doesn't mean that at that point you have to like look at the watch. Okay, an argument came and you are like, okay, just wait. Let me just complete my 3 second. No, you don't have to do that. But pause a bit, as I said before. But that 3 second should be taken to reflect on whether that argument, are you in need of that argument or the other person is in need of that argument. Now, or if you don't want to use your brain at that 3 second, just take a deep breath. That can soothe you, and ask yourself question. You have to ask yourself that, why does this matter? Why does this matter to me itself? If you had an argument with your parents or at your workplace, now you are feeling that urge that no, I should have replied to that person. At that point, you have to ask yourself, why does this matter to me? If I just give a very harsh reply, does it emphasize my presence there, or is it going to make everyone believe that I'm someone who has opinion? I'm an opinionated person. Does that give you that validation through that? You have to ask yourself that question at the very moment and reframe the argument as a learning opportunity. Now, this one is very much interesting because you have to approach any argument as a discussion. Now, what is the importance of a discussion? Because discussion not just gives you the opportunity to speak, but it gives everyone to understand the other person. When I say understand the other person, it also gives us time to, if you are like talking person to person, to understand the facial expression, his body languages, his gestures, whether it is actually he or she wanted to convey the point or just avoid or have a lonely time. So it is actually, you have to take that place or that moment as an opportunity to understand the other person better. Now, it seems overwhelming, like to apply every points that I'm sharing with you, but any like applying any one of it can have a positive impact. Just trust me, it works. Because as we discuss, if see, when I say you have to like take a 3 second pause, it seems very easy when we imagine, but practically when we do it, it takes our effort. And that is how the awareness works. It takes our effort, even though we feel that it's very easy to be connected. And developing intellectual humility. Now, this one is one of my favorite technique, and it can be like easily applied on every occasion, because it is very difficult for every one of us to admit that that something that we don't know. We usually don't say to people that no, I don't know that. We try to give an impression that everything is known by me, or if this is my field, I'm good at it. I don't need anyone's recommendation on that. We give that kind of an impression. That is not wrong. I'm not telling that it is wrong, but it can have another alternative. In debate, that is actually another thing. There is nothing like right or wrong. We will come to that, but it gives another perspective. So, intellectual humility is that admitting when we don't know something that we don't know. It is actually a very simple thing. So, if you are unsure about anything, you can say that it is more interesting, that topic, but I would like to learn more about it. So it is like accepting that even if you don't know a thing, you have to admit it. It gives you kind of a self assurance, that it's like giving ourselves a pat that yeah, it's okay, you don't know a thing. Maybe you might lose that argument just because you don't know about that thing, but that's fine. Like, we don't have to win every argument. It is completely fine to admit things that we don't know. And that helps us to seek out the opposing views. Now, seeking out the opposing view helps us to bring out the different opinions. Now, we are actually placed in this situation, like opposing views. Every now and then we face opposing views from our society, from our like ourselves. Just imagine if you are a student and you are not currently earning, and you have to like go trip to somewhere. And currently, when you express that to your one who's like the guardian who's taking care of you, you have to like go for a trip, and there is currently an opposing views that comes out. So we don't have to seek out for opposing views actually, because every now and then we face opposing views. But the beauty lies in handling the opposing views. How easily we handle the opposing view that arise from the other person, and turning winning into growth. As I said before, we don't have to win every argument. Just tell yourself that it's okay that I couldn't tell anything to the other person, but I learned something new. I learned about his personality. No, that might be a very broader statement to understand someone's personality through a debate, but you just understood the other person's situation, how he responds to a particular stimuli. You just got that opportunity. Just tell yourself that, yeah, I got a very learning experience to identify it. Now, moving from winning to understanding, this is something that has a very general perspective as well as a specific area. So, arguments, as I said before, in debate, in structured debates, in debate competitions, definitely we arrive at a position where one team or a particular person is given as a best debater or the best team who has presented their arguments very well. But when it comes to life, the more you lose an argument, the more you learn and the more you build connect. It is such a beautiful cycle that happens between the people who give themselves that time to engage with the other person. So, how can we just identify it? Ask more than you state. So, this is something you can really apply in your daily life. When someone is telling you some complaints or any argument, anything like that, you can, rather than just giving your opinion, you can just ask that same person that, can you explain why you see it that way? Like, why was the person putting out that argument in front of you? Can you explain a bit more on the background from where you are talking? Just imagine you are expanding the area for the other person to explain more. It gives an impression that, okay, the other person has got an opportunity to give his argument or his points in a much more broader sense. What's your personal experience with it? That is also a question you can ask the person. The argument that is raised with you, whether that person is talking from his own experience, from her own experience, or from a state of mind, or from a thinking process that he or she has gathered along the run. So, asking more than you state actually can build better conversation. That actually helps to take the argument to the higher state of awareness. That is actually we are talking about how to take our arguments to a better awareness state. Finding common ground. That is actually addressing the concern of the other person, that he has got some problems, she has got some problems. I have also some problems. I have also come across situations like this, if not the same, but of same pattern. I have understood it. So it is giving that person some time to cope up with the environment that argument is taking place, and summarize their view first. This also helps the other person to clearly understand what you have understood. Okay, I'll explain. So he or she just told you something, and you can just give it back or give your argument fitting with this, like the prefix as such. So you are saying that the other person, like you are saying that, suppose they were talking about any pending bills that is there in the company. So you can just tell the other person that, so you are talking that the pending bills have been like is not addressed till date, and there has been this issue ongoing with this section of the company. So just reciprocate what you have understood in an argument. This is very much it is applicable in professional areas. So when you have a conversation with your boss or with your employee, with your people around you, you can just have them identify what you have understood. Now embrace nuance. Now this is something we do actually, but we don't identify it. So, as I said, debates are not always about right or wrong. It is not about being white or black. As I say, it can be gray. And whether you believe that it is either one thing or the other, you can just change your perspective as both can happen. Both situations can occur because issues or the problem, arguments, they are not absolute. Nothing in the world is absolute. We cannot say that it is this because our perspective changes. As we just as an example, we just saw the debate topic example, like about the social media. It can have different perspectives. So don't just fit with it is either this or not. I'm going to do it or don't do it, or not going to do it. There is a middle portion to it. We have to identify it because that is how the world works. That is how the life works. It is actually understanding the real life as it is being given, and you scales instead of binaries. That is because when someone tells you about a problem or a problem with you, with your firm or anything, you can just ask the other person, like whether he or she is into it, or whether he or she is angry about it, or whether he or she is so much disturbed about it. You can just convey that. What about like how much you are affected by it? Don't just ask them that. Okay, just tell me on 1 to 10 how much is you are affected. Don't just ask the other person to tell you like as such in scales. Okay, at the scale of 5, I'm affected. No, don't expect an answer like that. But just allow that person to tell you about. Yeah, I'm disturbed. But I might be able to communicate that with you. I'm disturbed, but I need my long time. I'm disturbed, but I don't want to talk about it. So it is actually helping the other person to share his or her problems with you, not as an either end, but as both, and apply empathy. So empathy is we are all empathetic people. It is there with us always. But however, at the time of arguments, that is actually a topic. We are always empathetic, but the empathy just hides when we engage ourselves in debate or arguments. It just hides because empathy is so much delicate. Empathy can't just like cope up with heated arguments. But how can we bring empathy to this conversation? It is simply this: imagine their backstory. Help if you know the person. Just think about the how much he or she has traveled. What are the problems he or she has faced? See, when I say he or she, you can imagine yourself also. But it is easy to understand when we imagine a different person. That's why I'm telling the other person. So you can just imagine yourself also. So imagine the backstory. What might have shaped their belief? What might have led them to say this argument? What all they might have faced in their life. So it is actually an empathetic skill that we can develop when we are undergoing through a process of argument. Mirror their emotions, not just words. So you can just address them when a thing goes wrong. You can just tell them that, okay, I can see that the problem is very much important to you, or you can say that I can see that solving this argument is very much important to you. So it is actually whether you agree with it or not, that's just another part of it. But you can just tell the other person that, okay, I understood what you are up to. So this is actually building communication with the other person. It is a very simple thing. We know the language. I hope you can understand what I'm trying to tell you. But very few people usually does it in their daily life. Use it with your partners. Maybe people you might be well communicated with the people around you. But if you're struggling, if any one of you is struggling with that, just talk. Just communicate. Just reciprocate what the other person is telling. That is actually debate. That is actually the basis of debate. Whether it is debate competitions or in life, this is actually it. Understand the other person. Then only you can just give your kind of argument. Now, practice active listening. Just as I hope you all are actively listening right now. Just the same way, just listen to the other person because listening is such a prized possession right now, and it is very much important that the people around you get that feel that they are heard. or you get the feel that you are giving that opportunity for the other person to get heard. Now, this is like my best or my most favorite of all, finding the bigger picture. Because most of the time we just like don't let ourselves to expand. Like we are always inside a box. We say that we have to think out of the box. If we need to find an innovative idea, we have to think out of the box. But how many of us is using this in our daily life? So what is it really about? What is the debate is really about? What why did the argument uh, begin all of a sudden? That is actually the bigger picture. Is it actually the statement or the words the other person is telling you? Is it about that or the bigger picture? You have to identify it. How can we identify it? Zoom out. No, it's not like completely zooming out, but it is asking, is this debate about the topic or something deeper? Like, is it about the values that is affecting the other person? Is it about something like the identity that is affected of the other person, or is it about the experience the other person? Now this can be connected with you. Sometimes you might have said something that might have unknowingly that might have affected the other person's identity. You might not have understood it, but on a bigger scale, you have simply let the other person so much vulnerable with his or her identity. So zooming out, having a bigger picture helps you to identify the root cause of the argument. Now, recognizing the systemic influences, because we all are brought up in a very systemic environment. Our social conditioning is such that we believe a lot of things. We are influenced by cultural, social, political, everything influences us. So whatever we talk at the time of an argument, I'm not telling about a very peaceful, very happy situation. But at the time of argument, our culture reflects. Whatever we have heard reflects within us. Whatever we have like inbuilt within ourselves, it just pops out. It is not our mistake. It is not the other person's mistake. It is because of the system that we are put in. But like the two person or the two group can try to identify it, recognize it. Now, asking what's the best outcome here. Now, at the end, as I said before, in life, winning a debate, winning an argument might not give you anything. You might get that momentary happiness. You might feel that yes, I have got that argumentative power. I have so much control over like dominating the other person. You might feel that you might feel you are dominant, but is that a best outcome? If you want a better condition in your workplace or the place that debate occur in your personal life, professional life, the best outcome might not be always winning the argument. The best outcome is always creating that environment where the other person and yourself had that opportunity to speak up, had that opportunity to express the emotion, had that opportunity to just feel the other person that yes, I'm here to it doesn't matter whether I agree with you or not, but I'm here to like address your problem. So this is actually like the bigger picture. And so earlier I asked you to think about the biggest debate that is actually ongoing in your life. I hope everyone just thought about it. Now just recollect the biggest debate that is in your life and imagine a situation, or if it is a situation that has already occurred, just think about it. Can any of this ease the situation that has already occurred, or can it act as a skill, or can it be used as a tool in further communication with any person, with your people, with an unknown person? All you have to do is just think about whether the argument that you're giving, it has a repetitive pattern, whether it is recurring with the person or with yours. Can you shift your perspective from reacting to reflecting? Can you just develop that humility to identify the other person, to have that empathy? Can you embrace the nuance and make it easy for you and the other person to share whatever is there, and moving from winning to understand? And moreover, a healthy debate occurs when we give ourselves that validation. I told you that we always seek validation from other people. And most of the time, every argument, the root cause of most of the arguments can be because of lack of validation, lack of being heard, lack of not being heard, and the lack of maybe a lack of time, lack of anything. It can be because of that. But a healthy debate can actually, we should have healthy debate in our life. We should do it. Healthy debate in the sense, healthy communications. Now, communication is a bit different from debate. Debate is actually addressing the opposite opinion, the opposite argument, but using different skills. There are many skills, but these are some of it. Now, I hope that you got something from the session so far. Now, this is actually the picture as you've seen is of the person Ralph C. Smedley. He is actually the founder of Toastmasters International. Toastmasters International is one of the, you have heard it. It's actually an international platform of speakers, of public speaking skills are being so much mastered in these platforms. And he just says that we need to talk with each other honestly, simply, caringly, and if we do, we will break down walls, misunderstandings, and barriers. Now imagine, honestly, to talk honestly with a person needs a lot of effort. To talk simply, like just telling that this is a fact, just understand me. Telling that needs a lot of effort, caringly. And doing this helps us to break down a lot of walls, break down misunderstanding, build a lot of relationships and barriers. That is actually the beauty of debates. Now, from now on, when you hear the word debate, don't just take it in a negative sense. Don't just imagine a heated argument between two persons. Debate is actually a very beautiful conversation that has the space for different kind of arguments, that has a space for opposing arguments. So I hope that this session was so much helping for, at least helping for a few of the people. Now now I'm inviting your opinions on this. If you can we can have a discussion. I was talking about discussion so far, so we can have a discussion now. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I'll just stop the screen share and we can have the discussion. Yes,
Uh,
sir.
you told about building relationship and
Ye-
removing the barriers and misunderstanding.
yes.
Building relations. Suppose there are two brothers.
Okay.
One is having very rich personality. Is a very rich person, and
Okay.
other brother is not a rich person, but he is very poor, even not getting food. Suppose
Okay.
that person asks his rich brother, "There, share me something so that I can carry on my life." And
Okay.
if there is a relationship problem because of he's asking and he's not giving, so how to build this relationship and remove the
Okay.
misunderstanding?
Okay. Thank you so much for asking, sir. I just understood the concern of the question. Now, that is actually a very specific situation that has been given. So, when one person is rich and the other person is so much poor, this is actually a situation of economic terms. It is simply based on the one is having a lot of things and the other person is not having. So, simply, I believe that if the it completely depends upon the attitude of both the people. If the rich person is having a very good personality, and if he is so much keen and so much empathetic, as I said before, he might help his brother. But the conversation can see, this is actually a very realistic situation, and it is not also, I cannot just give you as a solution. But if the one who's having like very low income, or the poor one, as you mentioned, not just asking material things with the person who's having everything, he can just go and inquire to get a way to acquire income. Maybe he can just ask for helping him to achieve a job. Maybe he can ask the rich person to introduce him to any platform according to his skill. If he is into ready to do manual jobs, he can be the one who's having connections, can address him with the situation where he can do like earn for himself. So this is actually a very a very a thinkable situation. And so building conversation is not just about trusting on the relationship we have. We might be brothers, we might be connected with like blood relations might be there, but to have a good conversation, it is not. That is not mandatory. A good conversation can happen if both of the people have that confidence in themselves and a good opinion. I hope I addressed your concerns, sir.
Thank you. Right, madam. Right.
Yeah, thank you so much. Is there anyone I hope you can just maybe you can just share your experience, or if you have encountered any arguments in like your personal life or your professional life. Is there any situation like that? Maybe you can just share it, and you can just also share your insight, like how from now onwards, how can you just like maybe address the problem. Yeah, I hope like at least you got some or the other points, or some regards relating to the webinar. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your feedback in the chat box. I'm just reading it out. Yeah, if you have questions, you might even ask in the chat box. Oh, thank you, Mahi. Thank you so much. Do you have any more questions? Like, should we engage in any discussions? It's almost like
One more question, madam.
yes, sir.
Generally, in the when a person is getting selected for an interview, before
Okay.
that, group discussion sort of thing is there.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
If a debate is there on the group discussion,
Mhm.
and all people are failed, they don't pass. Nobody is selected because of that debate. What are the reasons? What are the failures in the debate generally?
Okay. So group discussion in case of as a precursor for selection to particular firms, group discussion is completely different from debate. Actually, group discussion is giving everyone the opportunity to speak on a particular topic that might be given as such prescribed by the person or the firm who's conducting it. So if as such as debate, or if they are asked to debate, then they might all they have to think is that when a topic is given to them, just stick on to what part is given to them. If it is like a very plain topic, as I explained, like if it is about like a very general topic, social media or health or anything related to our climate change or something like topic as such, then the people who are participating in a debate have to just stick on to either side of it, either for the motion or against a motion, if their performance is based on on how they debate as a competition. But group discussion is completely different. Group discussion is actually how a person can inculcate the point from the other person and produce his own. So it is even if a conflict comes in between in a group discussion, you can always make the other person feel better. You can also align with the points of the other person. But when it comes to a professional debate, you have to stand by your side. If you are standing against the motion, till the end of the competition, you have to stand as the person who's standing like against the motion. But when it comes to group discussion, when a productive point is being produced by the other candidate, you can just take the good part from it and produce your own. So the format of group discussion and debates as such is different, but to get selected based on the group discussions and debate, we have to be clear. Clarity of our opinions should be there. We have to be precise with our points. We have to make the other person know that this is what this is what I'm intending to talk about. And you have to be subtle. You don't have to be so much rebellious when you are expressing your point. I hope I just addressed your question, sir.
Thank you very much. You have elaborated a bit, very keen, taking keen interest. Thank you very much, madam. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah, thank you everyone who just congratulated me on the chat session. Thank you so much.
On the behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to sincerely thank Parvathi Arul Joshi for our outstanding speaker today. We had the chance to hear a fascinating and thought provoking conversation about today. Through her remarkable ability to convey information, she left us with the insightful discoveries and motivational concepts. Her engaging lecture enthralled us and motivated us to study more. We appreciate the effort and time they put into organizing this educational program. Thank you once more for participating in today's webinar. You can reach us by phone or email if you have any more questions too. We are pleased to offer you further assistance in chat, post links to your YouTube channel and other social media accounts.